That's incredible though. So you've multiple times you've sung the national anthem.
I mean, it's definitely God's grace. I did it for Hilary Clinton. Wow. That was amazing. Right, it was right after she unfortunately lost the election. Yeah, she was just so graceful. And then I did one for the Brooklyn Nets, and that was just incredible as well because I was sitting across from Rev Run, and apparently Jay-Z was in the booth.
We call ourselves CiiTY, but we global, and everybody that has a voice is allowed to be vocal.
So what's up, Meecah? How you doing? How you doing? How you liking Florida?
Do I talk into this?
You can talk. Yeah, you can talk. You good right there. Is she good right there, Steve? All right, you good right there.
Good. I love it. I'm born and raised here from the 5'6" Ace. Yeah. So I feel good to be home. I mean, under these circumstances, it's not really the best, but it's good to be around my family. I haven't been here since last May.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you just touched down how long ago?
I got here March, like 21st. Mm-hmm. So I've been under quarantine that long. Were
you traveling by air? Did you travel by air?
Yeah, so I was in Toronto when the tour stopped. And then I went to New York to like gather a few things because that's where I'm based out of. Yeah. And then I came down here to be with my family.
How crazy are things over there for people who's not from New York? I just imagine it being like one of those apocalypse movies out there.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Toronto and New York are the same, like essentially like they're the same place. So Toronto was, while people were like nervous and kind of scared, New York was kind of like ghost town. Like the only place that I saw people for real was in the grocery store. And this was like around the same time people were going crazy with stealing the toilet paper. Like people have calmed down with that now. But that was like right when COVID information hit and stuff. So when I left, it was kind of scary. And I was kind of glad to take my butt home. I wasn't trying to be there much longer.
Is it a shocking to you? Is it shocking to you? Because I know Florida, it's like people really don't care. We still be out. Mm-hmm. You go out to the grocery store, you're still gonna see people. So how was that transition like for you?
Well, for me, it was, I think, a little bit different because the bulk of my family is elderly. So we kind of were super, super cautious when we found out that this attacks like the respiratory system because my grandma has respiratory issues. My grandtie, all of that. So I've always been kind of on like XXX, like super, super supreme, like severe mode.
For sure. It's a good thing too. It's an important thing to realize. What most people don't realize is it's not really about you. It's about everybody else. Yeah. You know that can be affected by this whole thing. Yeah. Other than that, what else are you enjoying about just being here in Florida? I know there's not a lot to do, but I don't know how long you've been in New York. I would guess there's been some to and fro from you from Florida and New York. So, what are you enjoying most about just being here?
Definitely being with my family. I was not raised on like the type of lifestyle that I live now. So like coming home and trying new dishes with my family. Now my family's vegan for this week. Okay. So we'll see how long that lasts. But, just being like around them. I haven't really seen them except for Christmas vacations and stuff because I went to school in Pace in New York. So just understanding like who my family is now, like as an adult, where I don't have a curfew and stuff like that. So that's pretty fun. I'm enjoying like being here and making connections with people that are from the same place that I'm from, and now we can like really collab. Just seeing my friends and my family. As
far as opportunities go, did you move to New York for your art, for your music?
Yeah, of course. I didn't want to go to college, but my dad was like, you got to go to college. So I was like, I'm going to go to college for something that I want to do. Right. And that was performing. I went to an arts middle school in high school. Right. And so Pace musical theater program was number 4 in the country. And I was really blessed to be accepted. And it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah. And I've noticed you also got plenty more opportunities there. I mean, you sung the national anthem for the new. Like, how was that? Like, you were actually were you on TV?
Sorry, I don't mean to sound pretentious, but which one are you talking about?
Whoa.
No, I don't mean to sound crazy, but
I only knew of one. That's incredible though. So you've multiple times you've sung the national anthem.
I mean, it's definitely God's grace. I did it for Hilary Clinton. That was amazing. Right, it was right after she unfortunately lost the election.
Yeah.
She was just so graceful. And then I did one for the Brooklyn Nets, and that was just incredible as well, because I was sitting across from Rev Run, and apparently Jay-Z was in the booth. Like, it was really, really fun.
Yeah. How were you nervous?
For Hilary Clinton, no, because I was around people I went to school with. But for Brooklyn Nets, yes, because nobody there knew who I was. Yeah. And excuse me, when you're around people like who don't know your worth or know your talent, especially in New York, it's like they're kind of rooting for you to fail. Like, you know, Apollo, like when they want to boo you so the man can come out. It's like, maybe that's not how it is, but that's my perception, and that pressure kind of made me.
New York, I feel like they're just brutally honest in New York.
Yeah,
you know,
and like
so it's
not even just about performing, like about getting out the way because they want to get their purchase completed or something like that.
Yeah, that was still an incredible feat for you. So how did you manage to accomplish that? Is it credit to your management? How did that all go down?
I have a wonderful management team and agency, but that Brooklyn Nets one was accredited to just my work ethic and God's grace, because I was just, every time I come home, I'm like, okay, what are the next steps that I want to do for my career? Because I come home at like Christmas time, so the New Year's coming up. So I was like, I want to sing the Brooklyn Nets national anthem. That's what I want. I want to do that. So I researched, I Googled Instagram, you know how you do hashtags and stuff like that. That's how I find really everything. And then I found one of the representatives. I said, hey, can I sing such and such at this thing? And he was like, yeah, come. Can you do it in 5 days? And I was like, yes.
Yeah, I could do it tomorrow.
Yes.
For sure.
And I was so lucky because my flight got in the day before. So I had like my sister style me. I packed all my clothes, and everything's cheaper in Palm Beach. So I was like, yes. Yeah. And then I got there and I got off the plane, and then I went right to a sound check. And then the next day I did the show.
Dope. That's crazy. That's crazy. I saw that. I was like, wow. Okay. So what opportunities did that open the door for you for different things? Just doing that?
I don't know that specific performance opened up anything in particular, but I do know that it raised a lot of awareness for me as an artist, not even just for people in New York, but people here in Palm Beach. They were like, I'm always singing, always like being crazy. But I don't think they really realized the magnitude of my work ethic and, again, God's grace behind me, because that made everybody say like, whoa, like you're actually doing it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and you are a scholar musician. Like you really have been doing this in different ways and incorporating different arts into your music. I think the first thing I heard from you was Melanated. That's the first thing I ever seen. Was that the one where you had the I can't remember, because there's two songs I'm thinking about. That one, was it the one where you did it more like old school? It was like more of like a black and white kind of thing there.
Yeah,
that was did you direct that? That was awesome.
Thank you.
How much work went into that, and how did you get everybody involved? There were a lot of great actors, great dancers involved.
Yeah.
What went on with that?
So the school that I went to, Pace Musical Theater, the actors and the extras and stuff, they were all my classmates and people that I went to school with. So they knew how to act on camera anyway. So that was just like a check and a plus and a blessing. And then the director, the co-director, because we directed it together. He had previously directed Pilot, my first single out. And I'm very loyal. And when I feel like you have a good thing going, why stop it? So I said, this is the next song. I wrote the storyline, and I said, can we do this? And Brandon McMillan, shot by Yama, he is the type of person where I can just say stuff even if it doesn't make sense, and he was like, oh, got it. So I love having people like that in my team. And then we just kind of got together and created Melanated.
Is he from Palm Beach?
He's not. He's from Brooklyn.
Okay, because I think I saw a video from off of his page. Maybe I'm mistaken. I saw it from somebody's page.
Yeah. Well, he's very, very popular down here, but he's not from here.
Okay. Okay, dope. What else do you got coming up? With as far as music goes, as far as visuals?
Yeah, so I haven't really publicly announced it, but June 2nd, I'm dropping a single called Foolish. It's produced by Jay Sangria, co-written by Ashi. He wrote for almost any artist that you hear on the radio. He's had a hand in that. So I'm really blessed to have him. Yeah, and then I have that coming up, a few interviews, a few music videos coming out with that.
Yeah. I think the difficulty in the space that you're in and the kind of, I don't know if it's difficult, but I'm going to try to choose my words wisely. It's not difficult. I don't want to do much editing either. So I just feel like the way you make music is like a lost art in a way. I wouldn't say it's lost, but it's very who wrote this, or and then you're doing the writing and the singing and you're doing the directing. You know, how much of a load is on your shoulder, like when making these different records?
I first of all, I have a wonderful support system. So they kind of let me spew out what it is that I want, and they kind of help me shape that, and then we get the final product. But you are correct in saying that, you know, a lot of it is on my shoulders as far as me, because I'm the brand. Right. And if it looks bad, it doesn't look bad on them, it looks bad on me. Right. But I don't look at it as pressurizing. I look at it as a challenge that I'm willingly and happy to accept, because it's something that I love to do. I can't be a math teacher. I can't be a chef. What I can do is be a performer and light your stage on fire. And that's something that I wake up every night. I wake up every morning and dream about every night doing. Yeah.
I say that also because you I wouldn't say you have a message, but your songs are very, your words are intricate in the way you use them and everything like that. So my guess is like, if you make a record, you have to top that record, you know? Yeah. So that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I definitely love competing with myself. I've heard several artists, some of my icons say that Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Prince, Anita Baker, like they've always said that I compete with myself and not with anybody else. Yeah. And those are the people that I grew up modeling my career after. And so it's not without reason that I compete and challenge with myself in my past work. It's something that I really look forward to doing every time I create something.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been singing since I was 3. My dad's a pastor, so I've been singing in church. And I've been performing professionally since I was 12. Yeah, and it's just kind of always, I didn't choose this life, the life chose me kind of thing. Yeah. So it's kind of always been a part of me, but I don't really have a specific start date, you know? Yeah. Like I've been training for this my whole life.
Were you doing anything else more than music?
I mean, I'm in Hamilton, and that's more so musical theater. Okay. Even though it is an urbanized musical that's taken the world by storm, it is different, 100%. It's not, you know, my original creativity. It's only like the only thing original about it is what I bring to the roles that I play. So, yeah.
All right. So what inspired your next song that you were talking about? What's behind that? Talk to me about that song. Cause you know, you make certain songs, you never know. Cause you make certain songs and like you could be singing about love or whatever, but it has like this upbeat kind of thing that just makes you wanna vibe to. You make different kind of music, you know. So what do we have next on the table? I feel like this is something you don't want to tell. Oh.
I'm trying not to lie to you, but I'm also trying not to tell you everything.
Are you looking for inspiration on the spot right now?
Basically, this song was written about a situation where feelings were unrequited, and I've had enough of it. Okay. That is what that is. All right. That's what this song is about.
Hashtag Mary J. Blige. Okay, I think I know what kind of song this is.
Yeah. That's just kind of my specialty. I don't really know how to write about anything else besides one, reality, and 2, love songs. Yeah. So, but thankfully I had Ashi to help me and Jay Sangria to really, really help shape this, because if you let it just be me, the song will be 14 minutes long.
Yeah.
It'll be you did this and that and this and no shape, no form, because that's just me as an artist. But the people I'm working with, they really greatly shape the stuff that I put out.
Do they, what kind of different opinions do you get maybe when you're in the studio? Or when you're in the writing process from some of the people you mentioned?
Yeah.
Are there ever any negative feedbacks? Like, you probably shouldn't release this record, or you probably should change this around?
Never that. But we always butt heads because I'm very strong and I'm sensitive. Yeah. And I'm also working with strong, sensitive people. Yeah. So Jay Sangria, like, I love him to death. That's my brother for life. But sometimes we just don't get along because he has a probably more correct way, and I hope he doesn't see this, but a probably more correct way of how to do it, but it's so like not the way that I want to do it that we just kind of butt heads. For example, the song Foolish that I'm about to drop on June 2nd had an acoustic vibe, had a guitar, had a pianist, it had a bassist, it had strings, it had floating vocals, which I really feel the sound, and it was evocative for the message that I'm trying to get across.
Okay.
He was like, scratch all that. That's not radio. That's not what people want to hear.
But he's telling you what you need to hear, though. Yeah. I feel like.
And he stripped all the instruments, added maybe half as many instruments, synthesizers, and whatever. I don't know the words for it, but he'll tell you. And he added, and it sounds really good, but it's not what I had in mind. So we kind of bumped heads about it, but I relinquished the rights because I don't know everything. And I think the end product is very satisfactory. It's not what I wanted, but I do love it.
Is he producing? Is he a producer? Is he a co-writer?
Jay Sangria, yeah. He's also, I think, one of the best keyboardists I've ever played with in my life. He's another person that I can just be like, hey, can you do and he gets it. That's it. I don't even have to speak English or Spanish, and he got it.
It's one of the toughest part, I imagine, in music is like the communication.
Yeah.
Like communicating what you hear in your head to the person that's going to be producing the track. That's amazing that he can do that. It's a great connection to have.
Yeah.
You guys made multiple songs together. Is this the first?
This is the first one we've released. I've known him since I moved to New York in 2014. Yeah, 2014. I've known him since then. And we've always collabed, and like I've gone to a studio and be like, bro, let me hit this. We did a Spanish record. We did this, that, and the other. But we've never released anything besides this. This is our first one together.
You speak Spanish also?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you?
No bueno, no. I don't speak.
Yeah,
I want to. That's dope.
Yeah, I used to be extremely fluent. I got a minor in it, and then also I grew up here, so it's like not even a question. But I kind of lost my fluency like the last year or so because I've been focusing on other things, and I haven't had anybody to practice with.
Yeah,
language is all about fluency.
Yeah, it's all about speaking it out. You don't speak it, I don't care if it's even your native tongue and you move out somewhere and you don't speak it, you're gonna lose it for sure.
Just practice it.
For sure. What else are you trying to learn as far as language goes?
Spanish. I feel like if I just practice Spanish for a month, it'll be back. Depending on who I talk to, because I'm very good with the Caribbean dialect, but not necessarily with the South American dialect.
Yeah, right.
I really want to learn.
You're Bahamian though, is that?
I'm Bahamian.
Bahamian, okay. Dude, listen. I don't mean any disrespect. With my next question. No.
Question?
No. No, the question, because I don't know. I don't want to say, do you speak Bahamian? That's what it's called, Bahamian?
I mean, no. It's called Bahamian English.
Okay.
It's really just English.
Okay, I was about to say, because I don't know if you guys have like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are things that like we say, like if a white man was born on the island, but if he comes to the island and let's say he's been there for 20 years, he's a conky Joe. Like we'll call him that. But like those are English words.
Right.
And
it's just
everybody knows what conk and Joe is, so it's like not a different language.
Okay. I absolutely did not know whether or not Bahamians had like a native, like a very native tongue.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Learn something every day.
Yes, but you speak Creole.
I speak Creole.
Yeah.
I speak Creole.
That's all I know.
You lied. You speak more than.
I don't speak that. That everybody knows Sac Passe.
Okay,
I don't know what comes after Nabule.
There you go.
I have my best friend.
Okay.
One of my best friends, Fedniki. She's Haitian. She taught me like all the bad words. So
You
that's
gotta
all I
learn the
know.
bad words.
Yeah.
That's where you start.
Yeah.
It's the bad words.
And I'm from Lake Park. That's like.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Okay.
So, I shouldn't say that. Don't put that out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you know Lake Park, okay.
I'm from the Lake Park area.
Area. Don't give it no. Mm-hmm. Cool. How long have you stayed in Lake Park? Lake Park is notorious for certain things.
What is it notorious for? You tell me, and I'll check.
I don't want to. Yeah, I just wanted you to say it. I didn't want to say it. But Lake Park.
You gonna get me?
So you know what it's notorious for. If you think
we heard you say it. I love Lake Park. Lake Park is great.
Lake Park is wonderful. Nothing against Lake Park. How long you stay in Lake Park?
My whole life.
Awesome.
I live in the house that I was born in.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so music has really afforded you some nice opportunities.
God has, yeah.
God
It's been very shaky at times. At times it's been like, you see Instagram, you see all these other people, and you're like, okay, well, I have a work ethic. Like, no, everybody tells me that I'm crazy because like I stay up all night, I stay up all day, I don't sleep until like if it's a project that needs to get done.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I'll forego almost anything, to get my project done. And like you see people and you're like, oh, this person is going further than me because Instagram does that, even though Instagram is a liar.
Yeah.
And you just kind of get discouraged. But I don't know, every single day it's just I keep getting up, keep doing it. It's just what else am I gonna do,
Right. That's incredible, that work ethic. I feel the same way with what I do. I think if you really want to do something for the rest of your life, you got to wake up every day and do it, Like you really got to wake up every day and do it. And you got to do it, like you said, regardless of anything else. Or do you ever have days when you don't feel the same motivation?
Like to do what I love?
Yeah.
Before I say no, I'm just gonna scan the last 20-something years of my life. No, I don't think I ever wake up saying I don't want to do this. I may wake up and say like, look, girl, you've been going 5 days straight. Maybe you should calm down because I suffer from anxiety. So like that will just kill me if I don't stop. But no, I don't ever want to. I never say I don't want to do this anymore.
See, like when you do music, the thing about it is, it's like there's like multiple steps, right? If what you do is if you play basketball or you do certain other things, you do it's just 1 and 2 steps. You wake up, you practice, and you do get in the game.
Yeah.
With music, there's 5, 6 steps. You go to you write this song, you find the right sound, you go to the studio, you put all this work in, and then you promote the song, and then you what is it? You go to different concerts, different venues, and you perform and you promote that song some more. And the outcome is not always what you did all that work for.
Because so much of it is in other people's hands.
Right.
Like, I mean, that is true too with sports. But the reality is when you go play football, there are a certain set of rules. And if you go outside these rules, you're going to get flagged. You're going to get a penalty. I don't really know football like
You're on the right track. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're good. You're on spot.
But if you are in real life, like with the music, so you can follow all the rules, but that doesn't guarantee somebody's going to come to your show. Somebody's going to buy your song. Somebody's going to repost. Oh my gosh. Like there's so many different factors that are so like really out of your hands. It can get very discouraging at times because it's like, oh, people don't like my stuff. People don't want to repost, and that can just be a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's where I know the bulk of the discouragement comes from.
Yeah.
For sure.
But then on the other side of the coin, it's like you get discouraged. But then for me, it's like, what else are you gonna do? Like I said, I can't teach math. I can't teach. Period. I can't teach my mama how to cook. Like it's hard to try to reinvent the wheel. So you might as well just do what is in your heart. You know what I mean?
Do you feel a race against time for your accomplishments?
Biologically, yeah, because I want to have a lot of kids. I want to get married. I want to do stuff like that. But I'm 24 and I have a lot of time. But I know that the older you get, the harder it is. But I don't want to have any of that stuff before a career. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
So I don't want to bring another person in this world that I'm going to be resenting because I'll feel like that person stopped me from doing whatever. I want to make sure that I have everything that I want to have before I go ahead and be responsible for somebody's else.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I don't see you stopping anytime soon for sure. Yeah, so what's your favorite what are some of your influences with music? Like, cuz I can't give you a specific style. Usually I can listen. I have artists. I'm like, oh, you sound like this person. You sound like that person. Or like, you remind me of this and that.
Yeah.
But I can't really pin one on you. But you sound great, and you have a variety of ways you make music. So where do you put yourself at? Not necessarily comparing yourself to people, but how would you describe the kind of music you make?
I'm definitely a pop R&B artist. So like Bruno Mars and Beyonce, like the Super Bowl that they did, that's me all day. That I watch that on the treadmill and it just gets me going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I definitely love Lizzo, stuff like that. But older people who influence like me as an artist, like I said, Anita Baker, I listen to her albums maybe 50 times a week.
Okay.
Prince, Michael Jackson, all of them. People Bryson.
I see those older influences in your music.
Not to say that like music today doesn't make us feel good, it does. But the way music that came out like even 2000 and back, it just, that's kind of what like sits in my soul, you know?
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do, those kind of music, with the contemporary experiences.
Yeah.
You know, that those people had. That's why I feel like your song Melanated really, because it was for that time. It's for today because it happens.
Yeah.
But that those visuals express that time, and I think that's what stuck. Yeah. So I just don't think we experience a lot of the same things, but they're not prioritized the same, you know.
Yeah. I definitely think instrumentation has a lot to do with that. Like, I definitely want, as I progress forward, to have more instruments in my music. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
it does.
I want more than just a bass and a piano. Like, that for me is like good, and I know that's what people want, but what satisfies me and what feeds my hunger is strings on top of horns, on top of a bass drum, on top of a guitar, like acoustic and then electric, like synthesizer. Like that's what I want. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. You literally had
harmonic.
You had a band on your live concert.
I had to. I just had to.
That speaks volumes for sure.
Yeah, but like when you're in a room and you're in a concert, you go, let's see, you paid X amount of dollars that you know it was but you wanted to do because you want to go be entertained. You go and then the person doesn't have what it is that was really feeding your soul. Like, are you gonna feel satisfied? Are you gonna want to buy tickets again?
Yeah.
You know, some people are completely fine with a guitar. Like, and I am. Like when we go to So Far Sounds, when I do those shows, those are like completely satisfying. But when I think about being entertained, I think of lights, smoke, a stage, dancers, music. You know what I mean? Big band. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes you a musical genius, I think, for sure.
Oh, thank you.
And I think the important thing about it all is that you have to be satisfied. You know, usually for people, it's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do things this certain way. But as long as my audience is likes it and they receive it, then I'm satisfied with that. I think you more on the pedestal that you have to find it impressive for yourself.
I think it's not all about me, and then it's not all about you either. I think it's you're coming to my concert, I'm coming to entertain you, and you're coming to be entertained.
Right.
Now, if I blast you with everything I got in the first 20 seconds, you're not gonna want any more. So that's when you look to the audience for a response. You read the crowd. Like, that's what, it's an exchange of energy, and essentially that's what everything worthwhile is. It's an exchange of energy and emotions and feelings. People are releasing things. We're releasing things. We're reincarnating things. Like, it just feels like that's what I want my shows to be, and that's what I want to experience, even just as an artist, you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Beyonce and Bruno Mars, like you said, is the one from someone else. But what's your best musical experience?
That's really hard. I've had shows. Let me think. That's hard. That's a hard question, because each experience is different, and I've learned from each one. I think a show that I really, really appreciated was in New York, at the Mist. I did a show, and a snippet of that is on my Instagram, and the night itself was a bit stressful, but when I got on that stage and I got to play with my band, and I sang originals and I sang covers and I had dancers, and I was hitting the dance moves, because let's be honest, I'm not a dancer. I had to learn that. I think that was the most riveting experience for me, a memorable one we're talking about.
I think I remember that one.
Yeah.
Did you post that?
I did post it. And I had
you were wearing black.
And I had tights on.
Yeah.
Wardrobe
I remember that one. That was a great performance. Nelly. That was a great performance.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. Okay.
Some feedback wasn't all positive, so I appreciate
Some
that.
Some feedbacks weren't positive about that?
No, because you remember the caption. I'd spoken about, being assaulted, and a lot of people didn't really take to that. Did
you speak about, was it the way you were dressed?
Well, the way I was dressed happened because I had actually 7 pairs of tights on, because I had seen an interview. Beyonce said that she needed support. So she put on about 7-8 pairs of tights. I said, great. What Beyonce didn't say on that interview was that if you put too many on and they're fishnets, they're gonna pop. Oh, yeah. So right when I walked by to go on stage, my thing said pop, 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 down to 1 pair left. So I looked like I didn't respect my body, but I did. Right. What am I gonna do? It was live. It was on television. Yeah. It was a lot. So I said, you know what? For the love of art, I gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go on. I'm sure the negative responses were not as much as the positive feedback that you
got. It just it wasn't. It was some of it hit close to home, but I think what was that it took people by surprise that I posted, because that's not in my brand or my character at all to go out. It's not that it's not lovely, not that it's not something that I would want to do, but I've never done that before. Right. And so people were like, oh, is this the way you're going to start dressing? And I posted on Facebook where the Saints are, and that was kind of like,
that's why I think that's why I remember that performance distinctively, because I think I was also like, okay, well, she's trying something new. You know what I'm saying? This is, or I just thought maybe there's nothing wrong with, because music is also like a what time we got? Music is like it's an art form. It's you want to get an expression out of people, and so to me, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Even though I know your nature, I just thought maybe for this particular song, this is what this is the decision. The custom for it is to evoke a certain kind of expression from people.
Yeah, but I think the reason why I posted it was because so many people were making me feel ashamed about it. Like, people, distant from me and people close to me were like, this is how you're doing it. I didn't think that I was disgusting or gross or used goods or trash or whatever the stereotype is for people who've been assaulted at all. So I was looking at that as like a moment of growth, and I was like, wow, like, thank you, God, for bringing me to this point, because I never thought that I would ever go on stage fully dressed, fully clothed, versus me having a wardrobe malfunction and boom, like, I'm like, okay, whatever, this is my body, take it or leave it, So I was really posting and more proud about that, and to be a beacon of light and hope for people who may have not gotten to that point yet, or who have already passed that point, being like, hey, look, you're not alone. Nobody really is alone in anything that they go through. So that was like what I was kind of trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and you did. It was very, I was taken aback that you expressed all that you did.
Yeah.
Was it your first time speaking out about that?
It wasn't my first time, but I think it was the most impactful time. I wrote a song about it called Higher on my first EP. And it received a lot of attention in my college because the situation happened with somebody that I went to school with. But nothing really transpired after that. And this is 2 years later when I post the one about the tights and stuff. So I think people kind of forgot. And I wasn't really trying to remind anybody, but like I said, it was like a awakening for me. So I was like, this is my Instagram. If you don't like it, don't follow me.
Yeah, right.
This is for people who need to love themselves. Yeah.
So how does that how will that experience shape the way you handle criticism moving forward?
I've always been criticized, like from everybody, and that one kind of was the like cap on the bottle, like I'm not going to care because I know the higher that I get, the more affluential I get, the more the criticism is gonna come. So like I felt like that moment was like a gift from God to be like, do you want to do this or no? Because it's not going to get any better. And I was like, bet.
Yeah.
Cool. Now I can handle it no matter what.
Yeah. That's dope. You've mentioned your relationship. I think the last artist I had here, we had a conversation about
Tough
just
Cookie, that one?
Tough Cookie.
I love
Yeah.
that interview.
Yeah, and I just remember like that one line she said, which I feel like, it's valid here, is that, the relationship that artists have or should have with God when they're making music. And I feel like you have a strong relationship with God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you have a strong relationship with God. So
That's my homie.
yeah, it's our boy.
Yeah. Literally old boy.
Yeah.
Like the oldest person I know, maybe.
For sure. Did that start from you? I know you said you sung at the church and stuff like that. That started way young. Or how have that relationship developed into a stronger relationship?
Yeah, I can get really emotional about it, so I'm gonna try to keep it. But I grew up in a church for sure. My dad's pastor. Everybody in my family has a title in the church: bishop, elder, reverend.
Oh, awesome.
So that he's always been around, but I never had a real relationship with God until I went to school, because even though like I felt used by him, I never was like, what's this warm feeling I'm getting? I don't really know what that is.
Yeah.
It just makes people happy. So let me just chill. But when I went to school, I moved to New York. I didn't really have anybody. I had a cousin who lived in Jersey, but I never really got to see him. And I was kind of like on my own. I moved out into my own apartment like my sophomore year of college. I'm talking about 19. So I didn't have anybody. And when I felt alone, I started like digging into, not necessarily, the Bible. I don't read it as much as I should, but like that helped. I started listening to Stephen Furtick, and like trying to figure out who God was to me and for me, because he's different for and to everybody. He uses people differently. And I had to kind of let go of the premonitions and who people said he was, and like kind of just figure out what it is, not only who he was, but what he wanted from me. So when I started getting real with myself and started like, not to say that God isn't the holy of holy person, there's nobody above him, but I had to bring him down to my level and be like, God, what's up? I'm Michaela. I'm Meecah. Nice to meet you. You created me. Why? What's happening? So once I started talking to God like he was a friend, like instead of this untouchable being, that's when I kind of got to be really close to him and really realize that no matter what, like God is literally always around. He's always there for me. He's always got my back. So I think I fell in love with that aspect of always having somebody. Yeah.
What did that do for your confidence when making music? Were there any significant changes?
I come from a very spiritual family, a very religious family on one side. And so a lot of it contradicted what they thought I should be singing. So I kind of separated ways from them. I still love them, but like musically, that kind of had to take a different turn because they were kind of making me feel like I couldn't produce the music that I wanted to. But once I realized that, like, I wasn't singing about anything that compromised me as a Christian and me as or other people, which is even more important, I kind of was like, okay, God is not mad at me for making this music, you know what I mean? And then it also manifested because God was giving me Hamilton. He was giving me top placement at my school, like Hilary Clinton, Brooklyn Nets, like stuff was literally falling in my lap. And it made no explanation on why I got it except but God. So I was like, oh, God is my homie and everybody else's opinion doesn't really matter. So
I have a book of...
talk about Hamilton if you want.
Oh, please do. Explain that. What's up with that?
What Hamilton is, or how
I'm
I got
very
involved?
Uneducated in everything about Hamilton.
Hamilton is the most lit musical out.
Right.
And I'm not just saying that because they pay my bills.
That's the facts.
I'm saying it because that's just true. It's a wonderful musical that incorporates like their excerpts from Biggie. Like there's a, if you don't know now you know kind of thing. There's a Ja Rule and Ashanti type song in there. Like it was based off of that song that they did together. It's awesome. And they have a big church number at the end that George Washington sings. And what's really great about it is that our history as Americans is all white people. The Schuyler's, Washington, Alexander Hamilton, they're all white. But this story is told by people of color. Like our Elijah is Asian. Our Aaron Burr is Jamaican, I think, or he's black. I play Angelica or Eliza or Peggy Mariah. I'm a principal standby, so I play all three sisters. So I think it's just really captivating.
That's crazy. You got and it airs.
So I'm not in the original Broadway cast. I'm on the Philip tour. What you're gonna see on Disney Plus July 3rd is the original Broadway cast, which was actually filmed in 2016. So that, I mean, they've held on to that forever, and I'm so happy they're releasing it because I never got to see it. But
what you're in is you have to go. It's physical.
Yeah. Okay. So right now because of coronavirus, we had a whole engagement planned like all summer in DC. Then we were going to Cleveland, but now we're going back to Canada, and we will be around November in Ottawa, and then they can see there.
Yeah, I don't know much of anything like that going on in Florida. I feel like
Hamilton was here at the Kravitz Center actually around Christmas time, I want to say.
Okay.
The Angelica tour was here.
You know what? Yeah, I think I remember. That wasn't this Christmas though.
No, sorry, not Christmas. It was like January, February kind of time. It was like right before we shut down because of coronavirus. But they were here for 3 weeks. They were in Kravitz Center.
Okay, I think I saw something promoted about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we've played some really great cities. I mean, Nashville was incredible.
And you travel with them and everything. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. It's great. Sometimes we fly. Sometimes we get on a bus. The cast is incredible. I've made, I think, lifelong friends. Yeah. They're all very supportive.
Yeah, you're traveling. You're doing what you love to do.
Yeah, and what's great is that in most cities, I've been able to do So Far Sounds, which is another, it's like I promote my music with that. So I've been traveling, like when we were in Indianapolis, boom, we did the show in Indianapolis, and then boom, I did So Far Sounds, and then Nashville, same thing. So it's been great. Canada, same thing. Yeah. So I've been able to tour with my music as well.
Yeah. Is touring is going to these different places, and this is probably a no, but does going to all these different places, does it do more like in creating a core fan base? Is it difficult when you're moving around? Or is it just have you seen it do better for your fan base?
I think always when you like even today I feel like I've met friends, you know what I mean? So I feel like everywhere you go, if you're a personable person, it's gonna be effective. As an artist, I think it's easier for you to make a fan base stick with you when you've been stagnant. I mean, when you've stagnated places like New York or Miami or some big city. But I feel like anywhere that God gives me the opportunity to perform, He's brought me there to acquire another fan, or supporter. I feel great about that.
All right.
I talk a lot.
No, you talking just fine. It's an interview. I ask questions. All right, we're gonna close things out.
Right.
I want to know if you want to say anything you have next. I know you have this single working out, but what else aside from that do you have going on?
I mean, I definitely have more performances coming up in Hamilton, and I'll be posting those on my Instagram as they come, my website. But I think for right now, the main focus is this new single, Foolish. I'm really excited about, and I think God's gonna do big things with it. At least I hope. And just follow me on Instagram, Meecah, and Meecah.com.
We are CiiiTY.